Hello and welcome. So glad you have joined us on board as we journey through the pages of another edition of Jamaica Magazine. I'm your host, Adrian Atkinson. In today's show, our Western Roundup segment looks at integrated community development. Later in our Health-Wise Corner, we'll learn how to manage and prevent diabetes. Sit back and relax with these and more interesting and informative features.
An important message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness. What to do if you think you have been exposed or are experiencing signs and symptoms of COVID-19. Immediately call 888-1-LOVE. That's 888-663-5683. In addition, you should stay at home. Don't go to work, school, or any public place. Do not use public transport, and avoid visitors to your home. You may need to do this for up to 14 days to reduce the spread of the infection. A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
We remain resilient in our fight against known and unknown threats to our country. We are never daunted.
We are committed to continuously deliver effective and efficient service when we save lives and protect property.
And we continue to reassure with courtesy, integrity, and respect for the rights of all.
We are building
Forward together.
In our Western Roundup segment this week, team member Nikita Sterling takes us around Westmoreland to look at several developments under JSIF's Integrated Community Development Project.
Welcome to another episode of Western Roundup. Today we spend some time in Westmoreland where residents express gratitude for regularized water supply. And workers at the Westmoreland Municipal Corporation show off their new high-tech equipment. Both initiatives are courtesy of the Jamaica Social Investment Fund. You're watching Western Roundup. Stay with us.
The Jamaica Social Investment Fund, JSIF, the National Water Commission, and other stakeholders have been undertaking several developmental projects in the community of Russia, Westmoreland through its Integrated Community Development Project. From the partnership, water and wastewater infrastructure have been provided.
It is an initiative spearheaded by JSIF in the Russia community, and JSIF has been doing a tremendous work here in the Russia community, improving the lives of the citizens. Russia is a community that has been marginalized over extended period of time through violence and other stuff like that. But with the advent of JSIF and the other governmental agencies, it has put a positive light in the community. The residents in the community have gravitated to what the initiative that is being spearheaded by JSIF, and we wholeheartedly rejoice with the Russia community and the residents at large.
The project, which also focuses on steps to promote behavior change and regularization to curtail high consumption usage patterns, is being praised by residents.
I'm here today to register for my water. I want to register that I can get better water, better service, better flow, and then I can get to pay my water bill and, everything will be okay.
This is a wonderful feeling because in the Russia community, like many other inner city communities, things are not regularized. So with NWC, the National Water Commission, coming in and so that individuals can have their own meter, it gives a sense of pride. It will uplift the community, and also the stigma that is on the community will also be lifted, because now there are formal applications, so now you're a part of the system. No more bridging and stealing. Now you are a legal customer to the NWC. It is a tremendous feeling, and it is a good look for the Russia community.
Youth from the community have been trained in advanced plumbing, leak detection and repairs.
I would like to say JSIF is doing tremendous in our community because we are lack of certain things inside our community, and doing the water warden is a good thing to me because no, actually half of my community don't have water, especially where me live. So doing this makes me happy because water is life. However, I want to say thanks and even with the training, because I don't think I never dream of becoming a plumber. So I'm glad I feel like an experience, and this even bring me to a part where I can say, all right, then I go sell plumbing equipment, or I go do like a plumbing for my house. So we just want to tell Joseph thanks, and we really appreciate everything that we're getting in our community.
The water infrastructure project was funded through the Integrated Community Development Project's Integrated Infrastructure Project. Over at the Westmoreland Municipal Corporation, the staff are now in a better position to effectively carry out their job functions, having received equipment valued at $7.8 million from the Jamaica Social Investment Fund.
It is indeed a momentous occasion for today. We are indeed grateful for these gifts just before December. So I don't know if it's good tidings, but it is indeed. It will be utilized to the best of our ability as technical staff. The planning department will partake of it. The Roads and Works department and also the disaster unit will also utilize these equipment. As we push for sustainability in Westmoreland, we will be utilizing the drones, where we can be using it for our land use mapping and land use planning as we are embarking on our local sustainable development plan.
The items include geoinformation systems tools, including 4 handheld tablets, 8 desktop computers, a laptop, a 42-inch plotter for printing plans and blueprints, a heavy-duty printer with scanner, and a drone.
We will be supporting 6 parish councils with the necessary tools that we believe are essential for you to sustain and carry out the necessary work to support the development of communities in the parish.
The other municipal corporations to benefit from the support are Kingston and St. Andrew, St. James, Clarendon, St. Catherine, and St. Anne. JSIF is now in Component 3 of the Integrated Community Development Project, which is geared towards community development and institutional strengthening of government agencies. The Integrated Community Development Project was launched in 2014 and is expected to end in May 2021.
Thanks for sticking around until the end. We hope you enjoyed the journey. As usual, thanks for watching Western Roundup, where we take you from the corners of St. Elizabeth to the hilly terrains of St. Anne. Until next time, continue to stay safe.
Know your numbers and control the keys to a healthier heart. Know the numbers for your blood pressure, cholesterol level, blood glucose level, and your weight and body mass index. Find out the risks they represent and what you need to do to stay healthy. Talk to your doctor and start making healthy lifestyle choices to prevent a heart attack or stroke.
November is observed as Diabetes Awareness Month, and the Ministry of Health and Wellness has been collaborating with partners, such as the Diabetes Association of Jamaica, to inform the population about how they can prevent or manage this non-communicable illness and improve their quality of life. Let's learn all about that in this next feature.
Diabetes is a serious chronic lifestyle disease affecting millions of people over the world and continues to increase. Diabetes affects how your body turns food into energy. It is a disease in which your blood glucose or blood sugar levels are too high, and glucose comes from the food you eat. Insulin is a hormone that helps the glucose get into your cells to give energy. Sometimes your body doesn't make enough or any at all, doesn't make any insulin, and so it doesn't use the insulin well. Glucose then stays in your blood and doesn't reach your cells. Over time, having too much glucose in your blood can cause complications. Example, situations with the kidney, heart disease, and so on. Although diabetes has no cure, there are steps you can take to manage your diabetes and stay healthy.
It is through lifestyle that we manage the risk of diabetes. Those behaviors include increased physical activity, a healthy diet, routine health checks, and strict adherence to medication. The ministry will be championing the cause of persons living with diabetes. We have updated our clinical management guidelines, which is now available on our website, and we will be working on increasing access to testing through the introduction of point-of-care testing. This methodology of testing is the gold standard for monitoring and control of diabetes. Our agency, the National Health Fund, will continue to support persons through the provision of diabetic medication and supplies, and I encourage persons with diabetes to enroll in the NHF card program to access this benefit.
The person with diabetes should really have an opportunity to sit down with a trained clinician who is able to help them to understand the concepts of diabetes self-management, education, and support. There are 4 core areas the patient must begin to understand. How and when to take medication. That's the first one. If you take insulin, then you need to know how does your insulin work and how do you eat in relation to the insulin. Then there are the people who have type 2 diabetes, which commonly start off with education on activity and just healthy nutrition. And then we add 1 of 5 classes of oral agents. And then we teach them how to make food, how to eat food. Also, we think of things like target blood pressure. Is your weight healthy, or do you need to lose a little weight? And most importantly, how do you feel? What is your quality of life? All of this is what we focus on. Also, when you get your lab work done, what is your hemoglobin A1C? The target should be 7% or less. Keep that number in your mind. Diabetes damages the feet, the kidney, and the eyes at first, and then eventually we also find it can cause coronary vascular disease too. But for foot care, the person with diabetes every day, you wash your feet, wash them properly. Dry your feet, dry between the toes. Moisturize your feet, but do not put moisturizer between the toes. Make sure that you wear cotton socks, right? If you're going to have your toes cut by somebody trained who knows how to cut them. Examine your feet every day. Do not walk barefoot. Please, please, please do not walk barefooted, because if you injure or cause trauma to the feet, you may not feel it because your diabetes has damaged the nerves to the feet. And finally, when you buy shoes that are comfortable and that you can wear without causing blisters or trauma to the feet. Now we have research that shows that I can prevent the eye damage, the kidney damage, the foot damage, and the amputations by just keeping my blood glucoses under control and taking care of myself.
There's no such thing as a diabetic diet, but it's all about how much I eat, the timing of my meals. So it's your portion sizes is what is important. Now, what we do recommend is that persons eat at least 3 balanced meals per day and small snacks. Snacks usually mean smaller, more nourishing meals which we usually recommend that it be your fruits, your vegetables, or you can also use your nuts. Each meal or snack should contain protein because we need it to be balanced as well. Each meal should contain at least your protein and your fat. And we also want them to select a variety of foods from all the food groups. So there is some recommendations about the amount of fruits that you should eat per day. We usually say 2 to 3 servings. We want you to include a variety of vegetables daily. We also want you to include more peas, beans, and nuts in your daily meals. Reduce your intake of salty and processed foods, and to reduce your intake of fats and oils and that of sugary foods and drinks. You aim for foods that have high sources of fiber, such as your whole wheat bread, whole grain rice, flour, more of your ground provisions. They will give you fiber, right? And that will slow down the rate at which your body breaks down the food, so you won't have a rapid increase in your blood sugar levels versus if you eat foods that are low in these added fibers. When you're having alcohol as a person living with diabetes is not to have it on an empty stomach, because it gives the risk of lowering your blood sugar. And also what we want you to do is that once you have diabetes, we do not really recommend the mixed drinks, so as to say, because they usually have a sweetened base. For women, it's usually you can have a drink per day, and for men is no more than 2 drinks. And what is a drink? Usually for beer, it's not more than 12 ounces. And for like a shot, it's usually a shot, which is about 1.5 ounces. And for wine, recommendation is usually about 5 ounces thereabout.
There are several researches that have shown that physical activity, when done properly, for persons who are diabetic, again, you heard it, allows you to use up glucose. For children, the recommendation is at least 60 minutes, 5 days a week of moderate to vigorous activity, and it must be a combination of muscle and bone strengthening activity. That's the recommendation for our children. For adults, it's at least 30 minutes, 5 days a week to get some health benefit, meaning increased circulation, reduce stress. And for the elderly, it's at least 30 minutes, 5 days a week. If you're a diabetic patient, these are some of the activities that are very good for you. Swimming, jogging, dancing, these activities, they're not very vigorous. You maintain them at a low to moderate pace, and it's a very effective way of managing and controlling your blood glucose or your blood sugar. If you are going to start a physical activity program, that you check with your doctor before you start, because if you have a condition, if you're diabetic, hypertensive, you have any other medical condition, your doctor will determine the intensity level, the type of activities that you can do.
Persons living with diabetes mellitus have multiple psychosocial issues related to diabetes management and its complications even before COVID. And there's an entity called Diabetic Distress, which refers to the negative emotions such as feeling hopeless, angry, or frustrated that persons who are diagnosed with diabetes experience, especially if they lack social support. I must mention we have the mental health helpline, which is 888-639-5433, or simply remember 888-NEW-LIFE, which is a 24-hour, 7 days per week psychological support produced by psychologists. When you call this number, they can provide emotional support for you. If you are feeling any form of emotional distress, they can provide support for you, and where you need additional help, they will direct you to additional help.
An important message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness. How to wash your hands. Firstly, wet your hands. Then apply some soap. Rub your hands palm to palm. Lather the backs of your hands. Scrub between your fingers. Rub the backs of fingers on the opposing palms. Then clean your thumbs. Make sure to wash your fingernails and fingertips. Rinse your hands. Then dry with a single-use towel. Use this towel to turn off the faucet. And now your hands are clean. When to wash your hands? After coughing or sneezing, after taking public transportation, when caring for the sick, before, during, and after you prepare and eat food, after toilet use, when hands are visibly dirty, after handling animals or animal waste. An important message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Tourism is a major contributor to the Jamaican economy, and necessary COVID-19 restrictions have led to the government and private sector partners establishing what is called a resilient corridor to ensure the sector can rebound and return to vibrancy. Let's learn all about that in this next feature.
The first line of protection we have put in place is a resilience corridor for tourism travel. Tourist movement in this area will be controlled and they will not be allowed to leave the corridor.
What Destination Jamaica has done with the Resilience Corridor, which I think was a master stroke from the Ministry of Tourism in setting that up and getting the TPDCO certifying the hotels and establishments to reopen, has done well, because what they're doing is making sure that the protocols are all in place and ready to go.
If you look in the Caribbean, not many countries took the bold move to put in place a resilient corridor. Resilient corridor is important because if you notice throughout the Caribbean and the world, countries have either gone full open or major lockdown. Jamaica, because of the size of our country, it would be very, very tough to go with a full lockdown. And because we are concerned about everybody's health, it would be very tough to go with opening everything up. So the resilient corridor was put in place, I say with a lot of joy, to enable an in-between ground so that our industry can have a chance to not prosper, but to survive.
The corridor essentially moves from Negril along the main road areas, east, northeast, along that highway all the way to Port Antonio, so that all the properties on the windward side or the beach side, so to speak, would be embraced in that corridor.
What we have seen to date is that it has worked reasonably well. It has worked well. We have really focused on making sure the compliance is in place.
To guide businesses that are reopening, we have designed detailed operating protocols for each segment of the industry, and it's contained in this document. From training to supplies to procedures, everything is covered in this document. Businesses within the corridor will go through extensive training and will not be allowed to open until they have been assessed by TPDCO. If the assessment is successful by the TPDCO, they will receive a certificate, and they will receive that certificate, which must be displayed properly in their establishment to indicate that their business is TPDCO protocol compliant.
We work closely with the TPDCO to monitor and ensure that the required surveillance is taking place throughout. It's not that guests are right now allowed to openly go anywhere in the corridor. It was supposed to be a phased reopening. Started first with just hotels. So people coming into the island had to stay within the hotel. Then it was expanded to include COVID resilient certified transport, going to COVID resilient certified attractions. And again, you're following the same chain. It's 27,000 at the last count of tourism employees that are now trained, COVID resilient trained. They are trained in the protocols, they're trained in the specific adoption of the protocols for whatever area they work in. There's also 70 officers that are on the front line from TPDCO that are dealing with the inspection, training, and enforcement, as well as over 120 DC officers that were traditionally from the tourism force, courtesy corps. So there is a full range of oversight taking place, and so it's really a joined up approach. It's a private sector, public sector approach to ensuring the compliance. There is a continual effort to monitor the improvements in the science and to improve what the protocols are, as well as to look at if there are any scientific improvements that can help with testing, or the improvement of the testing and the cost of testing, etc.
The World Travel and Tourism Council, a global leader in the tourism industry, has reviewed and endorsed our protocol with their stamp of approval. It is important to recognize that the support will not stop once the assessment is complete. The workers will receive ongoing training and the comfort of knowing the businesses that they are involved in, while we monitor and ensure that there is ongoing compliance on the part of all.
Informing.
Jamaica today confirmed its first imported case of coronavirus.
Educating.
If you follow the recommended procedures, it is highly likely that you will not get the disease.
Going beyond to keep you informed and connected.
Welcome together, Fat.
Even through the pandemic. Helping you stay safe while we protect ourselves. Dependable. Impactful. Accurate.
This is your JIS News.
Credible. Trustworthy. Every day, everywhere. Serving our customers proudly.
Small businesses like mine continue to serve the needs of people.
We all play a part in keeping the wheels of our economy turning, and we do so responsibly.
We are building forward
together.
By order, under the Disaster Risk Management Act, you must wear a mask in all public access places and in public transportation. If you wear a mask and I wear a mask, we are all safer.
This is where we leave you for today on Jamaica Magazine. Be sure to join us again tomorrow for another show. Until then, continue to watch these and other programs by logging on to our website, jis.gov.jm, or subscribing to our YouTube channel. You will also find us on all the major social media platforms and through our mobile app that's Android and iOS compatible. On behalf of the entire team here at the JIS, I'm Adrian Atkinson, reminding you that COVID's still a keep, plus the flu. So practice your infection, prevention, and control measures and stay safe.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.